So I'll be using this beautifully designed fabric. The fabric is designed with heart shapes. So this is what I'll be using, and as you can see also, I've taped down my pattern paper to the fabric. Okay, so I actually use pins to hold it together. Can you see it's not shifting? So this is what you're expected to do. Next, I'll be imputing the notches. I'll be noting the notches. First of all, you note that the slit will be ending here. Okay, so you'll be noting that you'll be marking it out with your chalk, and then this is the waistline region. So to attach this to the upper part of the dress, I'll be using 1/2 inch. So I'll mark out the allowance of 1/2 inch using my chalk. So ensure that your markings are clear enough. Then on this side, this is where we'll be attaching to the left part of the skirt, and it goes down. As you already know, there's a slit down. So to get that slit perfectly, I'll be using 1 inch allowance for this other side. Then on the back, this is the part we'll be joining to the center back. So on this part, we'll be using 1 inch allowance also, because towards the upper part of the bodice there will be a zipper. So we'll be using that 1 inch for the zipper allowance. So just take note of all the allowances I'm giving. On this side I gave 1 inch, on this side 1 inch, on the waistline region I gave 1/2 inch. Then on the M line region also, I'll still be giving 1 inch, because this M line joins to the slit, to the front slit on the other side. Okay, so I'll be marking everything clearly before cutting out. One thing I want you to note very well, this very point, I want you to note this point. Okay, I hope you can see it. Let me shift it a little so that you get what I'm saying. This point, this is where the slit will end and where the garment will start from. So take note of it. Just notch it down. After cutting it, I will notch it so that I will remember it. Okay, so I'll be cutting from this direction. So here I'm done cutting it out, and as you can see, I'm having the notch here. Can you see? So I've notched it. This is to indicate that the slit stops here and the gathering starts here. Okay, so now I'll be removing this, and then I'll do the exact same thing for the left. So I've done the same thing for the left side. Now I'll be removing the pattern. Okay, so as you can see on the left side, this is what we are having. Then on the right side, this was what we cut out. Okay, let's place it together, tracing the notches. Got the notch here. So this is our pattern. It's ready. Let's keep it aside and then cut the upper bodice. So for the front bodice, we'll be having an inbuilt facing. Okay, so I want to trace out the facing first. So I'll be tracing out from the chest points. Can you see? Can you see what we're having? I'll use my tracing wheel. I just put it in place with these scissors so that it doesn't move. I trace it out using my tracing wheel. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. So I'm tracing it out. Okay, so basically I've traced it out. Now I want to cut out. I hope you can see what I have traced. I'll cut it out now. So now I've cut it out. This is what we are having. Can you see this? So now I will bring this. This is how it will be after sewing it together. Okay, so now I'll be placing it this way. So I'll just use my tape to tape it together like this. So this is the exact thing we'll be cutting out on our fabric, so that we'll be having our inbuilt facing. So this has also been taped to the fabric. Now I'll be imputing my allowances by using my chalk to mark. So half an inch, I'm marking half an inch at the armhole region, the shoulder, the facing, and then the waistline all round is half an inch. If you watch well, there's a space here. There is not supposed to be any space, so there was a little error. It's supposed to come straight like this, so just ignore the space. Okay, then on the side I'm adding 1 inch allowance. Okay, now I'll be cutting out. Points to note: do note that this was cut on fold. Okay, so this is on fold. And then also note that you need to notch these points to remember the fact that this is the neckline, and from here the facing starts. Okay, from here to here is the facing, and then this is the neckline. So you have to notch it so that when you want to sew, you will not be confused. Okay, so that's all for the front part of the upper bodice. Let's open it. So this is what we are having. Okay, the facing, the shoulders. So when you sew, this is how it will be. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now let's move to the cutting of the back. So I've also cut out the back. Can you see? Okay, then also note that for the back there's also a facing. I traced it out the same way. Okay, you can see the facing. So but for the back I did not join the facing of the pattern to the pattern itself, but rather I cut it out separately. Okay, so during the sewing process I'll be using this as a facing for the back. What is left for us to do is to sew. We are done with cutting out, tracing the patterns on the fabric. So next we'll be sewing. Alright, creatives, let us sew. So as you can remember, if you can remember, this is the left part of the down bodice, the lower bodice, and then this is the right part of the lower bodice. Then also look at the notches I gave, okay, here and here. So you bring them together, use a pin to hold them in place. Okay, so I pin them together. Now you trace the waistline. You have to trace the waistline up to this point. Okay, so this is the waistline. You also pin the waistline together. Now you will go to your machine and stitch from here down to where you have notched. That is where the slits will be stopping. Okay, so you'll be using 1 inch. We gave 1 inch allowance, so I'll be stitching with just 1 inch. So getting to the notched point, you back stitch again, and then you open it up and continue. Created the zipper allowance here at the back. Can you see this? Okay, then also at the front we have joined the two pieces together, the left and the right. So now let's flip it over and impute our drapes. Okay, this is the main job, so to say. So we'll be imputing the drapes on this line, the line with which we join the left and the right sides of the skirts. Okay, in front. Can you see? Let's go. The first thing you must do here is to double your thread and thread it with a needle. Can you see? I'm having this here, and it has to be a matching thread. So make sure you double it. You can even double it 4 times, ensuring that it is very strong. Okay, and then use a big size needle. Can you see mine? All right, so let's go from the slit part. Can you see? From here, from where the slit starts, you just start. You can decide to start gathering from here, from where, but for me I'll be starting from the waistline region. I'll be starting 1.5 inches below the waistline. Okay, so I'll just be running my stitches here. Okay, you're just running stitches, you won't knot anything yet until you get to your destination. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, if you notice, I'm just running the stitches with a very little space. Can you see? Okay, less than half an inch, but I'll get to a certain extent. I'll just, okay, at this point now I will stop and then start running the stitches in another way. So now I'll be spacing it out. I'll be picking about 1 inch to 1.5 inches difference. Please do note that this is optional. It depends on how you want the drapes to appear. Okay, so you can do this your own way, but for me, I have a target of how I want the drapes to appear, and I figured out that this will work for me. So can you see? I'm spacing it out here now. Also note that the closer I get to the pattern, okay, to the opening, so to say, the closer I get to the opening, the wider the stitches I'm giving. Okay, can you see? Now the needle is here. I'll just bring it out from here. Okay, I hope you understand what I mean. So I'll just be doing that now till I get to the end. I'm already at the end now. Okay, so at this end I'm trying to be very careful. Okay, so this is the end. What I'll do next, I'll just try to ensure that this is strong. I'll take my needle in. So when you get to the end, you just try to put the stitches in place. You can do that by flipping over to the wrong side. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? I want to secure the stitches. Okay, so now I'm at the wrong side with my needle. So ensure that you make it very tight. Okay, I've done that. So now I'll come down here and input some knots. Okay, I hope we are together. Okay, so basically we are done with the drapes. Let's flip it over and see how they are appearing after cutting off this thread. Okay, can you see the drapes? So remember, this is the waistline. Okay, look at our drapes, they are ready. So what we will do now, we'll just go in there and prepare our upper bodies. Then we attach the upper bodies to this waistline. All right, so for the upper bodies, we have the front block here. Okay, if you can remember, this is the facing. Okay, this is the facing, this is the shoulder, and this is the neckline. So after the sewing process, it will appear like this. Okay, can you see? So these are the shoulders. Look at it like this. So let's shift it out and then analyze the back. So for the back, I've also attached the facing. You can remember the facing we cut out. I've attached it to the neckline. Okay, can you see? Look at the facing here and look at the neckline. I've attached it together. Then also on this other side too, the same thing has been done. Okay, so we have a zipper allowance here. Okay, can you see? So these are the shoulders for the back, and then this for the front. So we'll be attaching shoulder to shoulder like this. Okay, I hope it is clear. So to achieve that, you have to get your pins, pin shoulder to shoulder. So, and while pinning shoulder to shoulder, you are also pinning the fashion material to the fashion material, and then the facing to the facing. So this is the front shoulder. You place it like this. Just watch me. It is simple. I'm trying to pin the facing to the facing, the back facing to the front facing, and the fashion fabric to the fashion fabric in front. Okay, so this is how it will be. I hope it is clear. So we'll just go and sew like this and like this. The same thing on the other side. So we'll be sewing with allowance of 1/2 inch, just like we gave during the cutting process, if you can remember. Okay, remember to back stitch, and when you come close to your pin, remember to remove it before you continue. Okay, we are doing joining back shoulder to front shoulder. So this is it. I'll just quickly show you and do the other. Okay, here is it. Have you seen? So this is the back and this is the facing. This is the front and this is the facing for the front. So this is the shoulder and this is how it's going to appear. Now let's take the other side and see it in full view. So here we are done with both shoulders. Okay, so this is what we are having presently. So what we have to do next is to finish the armhole region at this point. Okay, can you see? So flip it over like this and then pin down still. After pinning, you go to your machine and sew here to here. Pin about 1/2 inch or 0.75 inches allowance, so that you'll be able to finish down to this armhole later. Okay, so for now we'll be sewing here. We'll do the same thing on both sides. So I'm done. Can you see the thread? Okay, so now is to flip it over to the other side. Okay, and it's out. Then we now go in there and flip out this other one too on the other side, and it's out. So for now, this is what we are having. We are almost there. Remember, this is the zipper allowance, and the zipper will pass through there. We'll finish up with this facing. Okay, it's for the zipper, and this is it. So what we will do next, we are going to be attaching the sides together, the front and the back, like this. I'll be doing that with 1 inch allowance. Now we are also done joining the sides. Can you see? Okay, we're done joining the side. Next we'll be finishing this armhole region. Can you remember? We finish it to this point. Okay, to this very point and to this very point. So we just go over to our machine, just fold this over, okay, with about 1/4 inch like this, and then we stitch all around, okay, to this point. I hope you have gotten it. Alright guys, so creatives, I'm also done finishing the armhole. Can you see the armhole we have here? Okay, it has been neatly finished on both sides. So what we have to do next on this dress is to join the upper bodies to the lower bodies. Okay, note that if you are making your own at this point, you have to finish the inner parts with interlocking. Okay, so this is the time to do that, but for the video I just want to continue. After the video I'll be finishing my inner dress. Okay, so we have to attach the upper and lower bodies together. So this is the lower bodies. You can remember, first thing we need to do here on the lower bodies is to trace the midpoints of the front. Okay, to achieve that, we put the zipper allowance together this way, and then just hold the waistline straight, just like this. And then here is our midpoint in front, so you just notch it and you have this. Okay, it has been notched. You set it aside and also trace the midpoint of the upper bodice. For that, you put these two seams, okay, the two side seams together this way, okay, and the waistline region, hold it together like this, and then you notch. So for these two, we have gotten our midpoint. So you bring in these notches together to join the upper bodice and the lower bodice accurately. Okay, so this is the notch for the lower bodice, and this is the notch for the upper bodice. So bring them together like this, okay, and then you pin, and this is all you need to attach the upper to the lower bodice on the waistline region. So you just hold this together, go to your machine and sew all through the waistline region. Now our dress ready. We have joined it at the waistline region. Can you see? Okay, front to back, lower bodice to upper bodice. So the only thing left for us to do is to fix our invisible zipper. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll wear the dress on my mannequin for you to see. If you don't know how to fix invisible zipper, I'll be dropping the link to fixing invisible zipper in my description box. Okay, wow, I hope you like this. Then also we need to finish the M-line. For me, I'll be using my hemming gum to neatly finish it. I'll iron hemming gum to it first, and then I'll tack it down with my needle for it to come perfectly, for it to come out perfectly well. So I'll be doing all of that, and then my mannequin will first of all wear before I will do the wearing, because this dress is mine. If you like this video, please subscribe to Classy by Mavic Creatives to be seeing more of such videos. Please subscribe, I'm begging you. Thank you very much for watching. See you in our next video.